I'm just gonna start this video like how I've been starting. So what's up, guys? Back to work on Nissan, our rear-wheel drive Nissan rear-wheel drive 240 powered Civic, 240 Civic. And as you guys know, yesterday's video we chopped up the firewall and we put the tranny in here. It's just kind of in place. Nothing's really bolted down. That's to come.
Give me 2 sets of ratchet straps and a pack of bubble gum.
So we decided before we even try and mock up the train or anything, we should probably finish the rear end. And we decided to use a 240SX rear end. But not only do I have one laying around, but they're a perfect swap rear end. People do it all the time in multiple chassis. And continuing on the theme of the 240SX Civic, it's just a perfect fit. So today what we have to do is we have to dismantle all the stock stuff, take out the whole rear end, all these ugly little things that are not gonna work for us. We have to drop the gas tank and basically cut out the whole floorboard of the trunk. That sound about right?
Yeah, I mean, it goes with the theme of everything else. We're literally gonna use nothing underneath the body of the Civic.
Yeah! Get it out of there.
All right, give it a good yank.
Come on. There we go.
There it is.
Open the door. We don't need it.
No.
Yeah.
Scrap guy picked that up tomorrow.
All right, cool. So that was literally all the suspension, everything.
Yep, it's all gone.
Now what we have to do is we have to remove this big old gas tank. I'm hoping there's not a lot of gas in it. I can only imagine that there isn't.
Hit it, RJ. Smash that thing.
There she goes.
Nice work, man.
And that's how you drop us to the gas tank, baby. Oh, it's out. Oh, hey.
The filler neck.
Oh, the filler neck.
Hey.
There we go.
There it is.
Cool. So that's literally everything in the rear end. I don't know if the camera could see it. So everything is disconnected underneath. Now it's just a bare shell. No suspension, nothing. So now it's time to make some room for some 240SX rear stuff. RJ.
Get out of the shot. You're just gonna be texting RJ.
You ready to do some kind or what?
Yeah, man. Sawzall surgeon right here. Here we go. Ready to go.
Yo, it's scary how easily this stuff cuts through it. So the goal is to cut the floor out without cutting the rail. We're just gonna eyeball it. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Oh,
damn! That's a big ass hole.
Like sideways through the filler neck.
Yeah, you look at the filler. So we got a nice rough cut on here to get an idea of everything. Yo, let's mock up the rear end. So the rear end's not gonna come close to fitting any points mounting at all, but let's jack it up in the rear and see how it fits in here.
Yeah.
All right, so we have to get a 150-pound subframe through here.
Peon.
Shit.
What did he say?
Feeling strong.
I think he said pee on it.
That's what I thought he said too. I don't know how that's gonna help.
Way better. Here we go. Oh. All right. Oh. So this. is going in here. I need to drink more water. I got a cramp.
There it is.
Right there?
Yeah, that's about good.
Look at the shape of the chassis, right? Because we have to meet up to that point there, and then the whole entire chassis drops down.
Oh, that's amazing.
And it meets the front of the subframe.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's like it was made to be.
So for our rear pedestal, super easy. It looks like we're gonna have to weld a bar literally across the two frame rails. make pedestals, and we're done. The front, however, we have to get creative.
Not really, because what we have here is the inner rocker structure, which is actually super strong.
You guys can see the knuckle right here. The hub's gonna sit out to about here. So it's gonna poke a little bit, but you know what? That's why they make high offset wheels, and we should be good to go. I'm pretty pumped. This actually fits better than I thought.
No, I'm definitely the gears are turning now that it's in there. It's like, yeah, this is gonna happen. You gotta go towards this side a lot. So
that's good.
You might not be poking at all.
Oh yeah, we have to go over. Okay, so we have to go to the driver's side quite a bit. So
yeah.
No, we're good. We're good on girth, right, Mike? Girth ain't an issue around here, right, Mike?
Hell no, it ain't. Keep it yourselves, boys.
Right now, there's a bunch of stuff in the way preventing us from jacking it even higher because this probably has to go up another, I'd say at least 3 to 4 inches.
That sounds about right.
So let's get the Sawzall back out and cut all the random stuff out and see if we can get this thing to fit a little bit nicer and then really put together a plan of attack.
The next day.
All right, new day, fresh start. So I spent the time, cleaned everything up. I cut all the random stuff off the chassis, all the old lines, all the brackets, everything, to get a better idea of how we're gonna actually make this S13 subframe fit on this Honda Civic. So I was hoping it'd be as easy as just making some pedestals and bolting it up, but it's not gonna be that easy. So if you look at it, this whole thing still needs to go up probably another 3 inches. And it's very obvious that the suspension components are gonna start whacking the frame. This one's already touching. so for this, I think we can get away with a frame notch, that's no biggie. But for our tension rod, it's very obvious that there's gonna be no way of using that mount on the subframe. So I'm thinking we just cut the thing off the subframe, make a new bracket on the frame itself, and we're good to go. So instead of sitting here pondering, I'm just gonna cut the tension rod bracket off the subframe so we can get the subframe to sit a little bit higher in the car, and we're gonna see how much we actually have to notch the frame for our camber arm right here. Now let's see how much better this thing actually fits. Chopping off the tension rod bracket, I got the subframe probably another 2 inches up. Still probably needs another 2 inches to go. And the lower is already coming close, which is cool because that shouldn't be a big notch. But the upper camber arm, that's not good. That is not good at all. Well, I'm gonna take the arms off the subframe and then we're gonna figure out where it actually needs to sit and we'll actually know how much we have to cut. All right, so the rear end goes a little bit higher, but it actually still needs to come up like another probably 1.5 inches from the front and maybe 1/2 inch in the rear. If you look, completely in the way of the frame, and this still needs to go up probably 1/2 inch. So, looks like we're gonna be making new frame rails, which is the last thing I wanted to do, but all right, B-Hall's here finally.
What's up, guys?
Man? So I think we came up with a good plan, and it's not going to be as bad as I thought.
Yeah? Did I made you feel better?
It made me feel better because, like, in my I have like this devil advocate in my head, and it's B-Hall, where it's just like, okay, we're gonna have to go extra here because that's just how Brian is, especially with this stuff. But it works out. So I'm excited, but we're gonna continue the theme that we were going with before, and we're just gonna keep making room to get this subframe higher and higher where it actually needs to be, and then we can make a game plan on notching the frame or replacing the piece of frame that I was talking about. So the next thing that's preventing us from sitting where it needs to sit is the frame rail right here on the lower control arm. So we're gonna do what?
We're gonna start out by notching the rail there. Right, we're gonna do everything we can to get the subframe in the exact height that we want it, and then go back and replace the metal that we've removed. Hey man, just doing some arts and crafts over here.
Oh, there we go. We got a hole.
Got a hole.
Can we do a disclaimer real quick? Before you guys start yelling at us about cutting up frames here, fun fact, Brian's a frame tech, like full time. So
Yeah, this is all I do is cut up unibodies all day.
So unibody master right here. So we could have some faith in it.
Yeah, we're not worried about it. This is not a 9-to-5 daily driver.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, so when it comes to knowing the structure and integrity of a unibody car, and Brian is the guy to know. So. So hopefully now the subframe will actually sit fully up in the chassis. We can get an idea where it's actually gonna be.
Where it's gonna live.
Where it's gonna live.
Where it's gonna reside.
Yeah, so let's jack it up. All right, so we got it jacked up in the notch, and I think things are finally looking pretty good for us in the rear end, right? I'd say so.
A little sigh of relief, you know? I mean, it's...
So if we look at it here, it fits really nice into the notch, and we decided we're probably gonna bring this arch down just for structural reasons, which will allow us to actually change the lower control arm without dropping the whole subframe, which is nice. Subframe at its like perfect height naturally sits right on the frame rail right there, which is perfect. We could build off of that, make a nice pedestal there, and then of course for the rear, we got to make a whole cross section anyway, so it doesn't really matter where that lays.
The rear is easy peasy, yeah.
So I'd say we're looking pretty good. And what's really awesome about this, the diff sits underneath the metal perfectly, so we're gonna be able to run stock back seats.
Hell yeah, I know. This hump was like designed for the 240 subframe. It's awesome.
That looks crazy. So now is the next big issue, and that's notching the rail for the camber arm.
Yeah, I'm just staring at that right now.
So before we could even think about making the new rail, we actually have to take the floorboard off the rail itself, because all it is a thin piece of metal actually sitting on the structural part of the rail. So Brian's gonna sit here and drill all the spot welds out.
Yep, I've already cleaned off the seam sealer with a wire wheel, and now it's time to get to drilling.
All right, so Bri took off the floorboard, and it's pretty crazy. That is the frame rail. That is the structure of the car in the rear. It's just this dinky little U-channel of metal.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, I know a lot of you guys probably don't have much experience with unibody frames. I don't really at all, so seeing this stuff is always crazy. It always blows my mind how these things are literally just layers of sheet metal tack welded together, and that's literally what these cars are made out of.
Yeah, this is probably like the 100th trunk floor I've taken out of a car, if not more.
It's crazy. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a new frame rail on top of this frame rail, get it all reinforced, and then cut it out. Obviously, to make sure that the car is always structurally sound and we're not going to cut it in half and the whole rear end is just going to sag on us. Just like anything else on this project, there is 1.5 million different ways to do this. There's no wrong way as long as it's strong and can last, right? And
yeah, exactly. There's 1 million ways to do it, and this is just one of them. And
so we're trying to do it in obviously a pretty quick manner because we're trying to, you know, keep up some good progress on this car. So what we're thinking about doing is taking some box steel, which I have a bunch of it, like this right here, and basically matching this shape, this S right here, boom, 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 putting it on top, welding it all together in a way we'll show you later.
Yeah.
And then making it look as pretty as possible, and then cutting out the...
Come back and make the notch so that this control arm, the upper control arm, can have play, or have, what do you call it, travel within the suspension.
All of this, and then we have to go and reinforce the front of the rail again that we cut off earlier, and then we have to make a cross member and then our pedestal. So to make this rear end work, it's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be worth it. It's badass. I'm personally learning a shit ton right now, which is super dope, and in the end, having a 240SX rear subframe in this thing is going to make the car feel that much better. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, bear with us. Right now is definitely going to be the slowest part of the build. Like,
yeah,
we got to get this part right. Luckily, like, the front was nice and open, and it was easy to kind of fabricate quickly and get the engine thrown in there. But this is going to take us a little bit more time.
So once the rear end's done, it's game on from there, and making a KA running this chassis is gonna be really easy. So I'm pumped on the progress for the last 2 days. I'm really excited, and tomorrow we'll get it even more done, and there we go. So right now, it's Christmas Eve, which is pretty crazy. So Merry Christmas Eve to you guys. I hope you guys are having an amazing time tonight with your family. If you're not celebrating Christmas, then, well, I hope you had an awesome day. So with that, we're gonna end it. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. B.
Have a great night. Peace.